So while I was going to high school back in Jamaica, where my school was located, I could stand, if you know me and you know my school, I could stand on the sixth form block and look over Company A. So Company A was my dream job, my dream company. It is the only utility company in Jamaica. My high school, you would have to choose your career path from grade 10, so I chose engineering. You have to say basically from 10th grade, I knew I wanted to be an engineer, and I made up my mind I'm going to be an engineer, and an engineer I did be, right? I used to stand there, look over Company A, look at the steam going up in the air from that combined cycle plant and say, one day I will be working over there, because I know without a shadow of doubt I was going to end up at Company A. Okay, left university, got my engineering degree, and it was time for me to look jobs. I only applied at Company A. I didn't apply for anywhere else because that was where I wanted to be. So when I got the opportunity to do internship with Company A, I grabbed it, because like I said, Company A is the place to be, is where I wanted to be. And I did internship for over a year, a little over a year, right? Company A finally gave me a permanent offer, and that was, wow, mind-blowing, because the money, it did good. So Company A offered me a permanent position, and at the time it was, I think annually it was over 5 mil Jamaican at the time. I was so excited, I was happy. I landed my dream job, and I was living my dream life. I had a 5-year goal where I said, okay, you know, I want to move up in Company A. I want to buy properties for investments. If you're living, and the more you live, the more you have more dreams and the more you want more things, right? As a permanent employee, I started looking around Company A and seeing, okay, maybe it's time now I go back to do my master's. I don't know, I was like right there, I was like in the middle of getting a property, looking at properties. I was looking at properties for like about 2 years straight and not picking one, right? And I was like, maybe it's time to get my master's. But then I realized, speaking to persons in the company, they be like, hey, why are you going to pay so much money to go and get a master's, when if you notice, people that you report to, people in this company, the company doesn't pay you based on your level of education. They pay you, I would say they pay you based on your expertise in an area. So the person was saying, why are you going to waste so much money, you know, go back to school, and you're not going to get more pay basically, unless it's just something you want to do because of, what's that law, like self-actualization or something like that. It makes no sense. So then I thought about that, and then I ruled that out. So then I started looking around Company A, because I'm like, I want to move up. I started feeling a bit stagnant, feeling like I'm not growing, feeling like I'm doing the same thing over and over. It started getting harder to wake up in the mornings to go to work. These are the signs. So people, if you're in a job and in the mornings when you're going to wake to go, you're like, oh, that's not a good sign. Before I have kids, I was like, one thing my kids must have is a source of income for them. I need to create generational wealth. It must not be because I'm working, that's the only source of income. So I had all these stocks I was investing in. I was looking to get the house to, you know, diversify my portfolio. I've always been about my money, right? So I was just going for that. But then COVID came and working from home. I won't lie, I loved it for the first 2 months until I fell back in that depression thing. Can't go anywhere, so I have this car. It started becoming a problem. I have this car for 80 something thousand sitting outside in the yard. I catch birds. I was like, no. And then I started reassessing my portfolio, and I'd be like, okay, this expense, it has to go, because I'm no longer going in to work every day. I mean, I love that car, leather seats and all, sunroof top. I love that car. I mean, driving to work, it was a vibe, right? Coming from the gym at night, it was a vibe. I love it. It got me through that time, right? And then I assessed my portfolio and decided, you know what, it needs to go. And I started assessing my life. COVID came, assessed my portfolio, my life. And at that time, that was why I decided, no, I cannot be doing this. This is not what you dreamt of. I had a dream as a little girl. I wanted to be progressing through life, and sitting there looking at everything with company A. I'm saying, one, for me, I thought about it. I see there's no, I don't think, when I was in the process, I didn't think the company itself had a plan for junior engineers. I don't think they are ready for that. It's like, you just come, you do your job. If another position comes up, outside of the department that you're in, you can apply, you do well, you'll get that job. To me, that is not moving upwards, it's just moving, it's a lateral movement. And while yes, you're going to learn another skill, because they would say the area that I was in is a specialized area, yes, you're going to learn something else and add it to your portfolio. But the truth is, you can never be CEO in that company. That never did ever happen for me. Certain level of management, it never did ever happen for me. It never did ever happen. It's just the truth. It was, if it was even going to happen, it would be maybe the next 20 years or 15 years, and I'm not exaggerating. And for me, I thought about it and I said, I don't have 15, 20 years to sit stagnant, to wait on people to move, or reassess for me to grow. All I have is now, today, tomorrow, and I just need to keep growing, but I can't be in a position where there's no room to grow. How does that make sense? So that was when I made the decision, you know what? I am going to reassess my portfolio, reassess my life, and make a move. When you assess it, company A was paying me so much money. Where else in Jamaica was I going to go to get that same money? So you see the thing at company A, I don't know how to say this, but they try to brainwash you in a way. I'm sorry, if you're at company A and you're watching it, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything bad by it, but I'm just trying to let persons understand where I'm coming from. At company A, they make you feel like the position that you're in, like you should feel so lucky and so loyal to company A, because many other young persons in Jamaica are making the money that company A is paying. I would say they feed you a soup to make you believe, hey, this is the best place on earth to work. That is not true. And like I said, COVID made me realize, Kayon, stop making people tell you that this is the best for you or this is the best thing to. It is not. And it was only until I woke up and realized, hey, this is not the best thing. I can get more, I can achieve more, I can work harder. That was when I woke up. But here, listen closely, because these were the shocking truth that woke me up from that lie. My brother-in-law, younger than I am, studying in the United States. He is on, like, you know, you can do 20 hours of work, so you like be a TA, teacher's assistant, and his little stipend he was collecting in US dollars was more than my pay. I think that was one of the biggest shock for me. So I was making all this money, but then don't pay the government all these taxes and it go down to X, right? I'm just like, whoa, you're making more than me. Come here. What you say? You're making more than me. I think at the time, or at first when he told me his stipend, right? I think on the level when I compared my salary, because I'm not afraid to talk money. I'm not. I don't see anything wrong with that. If I don't talk money, you won't know what you need to ask for when you are getting a job offer. Okay, it can't be less than mine, you know, it must be more, because if you're coming in another year, must be more inflation, right? So I was like, what? And that was when I look into it and that was when I said no. Oh, I did my first overtime, my first OT, yes. And you know, my boss called me and asked me, hey girl, what's your per hour rate? And when I told him, immediately I checked my per hour rate and converted it in US, because like I said, everything I do, I was living a standard. I was living at a standard, the truth is, above most regular Jamaicans. And the truth is, before, like for the first 2 years, I think the reason why I did not even realize it was because I was saving so much. I was investing so much. I was living below my means so much, because I'm saying I'm trying to create this generational wealth, right? So I didn't realize it was not until I said, okay, let me try to live a bit, because they can invest so much and they left the money. You have to leave. It wasn't until I tried to live the life I dreamt about, I started realizing, hey girl, you really can't be living like this. Especially if you have a child, you won't be able to afford your lifestyle. And for me, that's a major problem, because all this sacrifice, what is it for? Right? So when he called me and asked me my per hour, I converted it to US, because I buy things in US all the time. I shop online. Most of the places I go in Kingston, their restaurants are in US dollars, right? When I buy food, you know, them have to import food and them a charge you back. Best believe, even though it's in Jamaican currency, a USA I pay for that, right? So everything basically in Jamaica is US. I don't care what nobody says. It's in US, unless, especially when you shop at certain places like Price Mart and them place there, even though them have it in a Jamaican currency, it's expensive, because if you're willing to go down a town, you will pay a less fee here, but hey, you have to pay the premium price, right? So I was like, okay, my per hour was, when I converted it, it didn't make sense to me, because my per hour was like minimum wage US dollars. That one never sit right with me at all. And then I started worrying, because I'm like, but wait, the Jamaican currency. So my second factor why I like, okay, this cannot work. One, his TA job is near to my salary. I'm a big engineer at Jamaica at a dream company, right? So that was my first, like, yeah, that was my first wake up. The second wake up was when that per hour thing, and I realized, hey, convert this per hour, you know, it's minimum wage in the US. That was a shocker for me because I'm a big engineer in Jamaica. And that was point two. The third thing that got me saying, no, I need to leave. This cannot work. It doesn't matter. So along with my goals of wanting to move up in a company, and I don't see a way to move up, the money started becoming a problem because Jamaican dollar depreciate every month. I can't even say year, every month, right? And here I was with a job that when you're inside company A, you start seeing things, and the company not even willing to raise your pay 1-3% every year consistently. So I weighed that in, and I'm like, I can't get a 3% raise consistently yearly. And when they do decide to sign off on giving us the increase, it is like 2-3 years later, and inflation, that money that back money you're getting is have no use, right? I was like, no, and saying all of that, I decided I have to leave. That is my truth. I analyzed my situation. I realized there's no other company. So, sometimes I talk about it and I say, what if I had gone somewhere else where I could see a way to move up? Would I stay? And I said no. I asked myself questions like those. Like I said, would I stay? And I said no, because at the end of the day, Jamaica is a third world country. We're dealing with a problem that I don't know. I don't think these government care. I don't think the government care. Our dollar is going to consistently be sliding. We're a third world country, we're a developing country. That's just the way of the world. I can't stay here if I really want to achieve that life goal I have of generational wealth. Yeah, it will not work unless I was earning in US dollars, and company A, even though they budget in US for us, they ain't gonna pay US. So I was like, it can't work. So I looked at it, I assessed my situation, what was best for me, my family, and I said, babe, this is how I feel. And I explained it to him. In a relationship, we women, we always want more, and you have to convince a partner, so it not gonna work. So put us together, our household was strong, and here we were sacrificing, living below our means, so that hey, I could get a property, he could get a property, create that generational wealth. But it's just it wasn't going to work. And then you're not even want me going to the way our house value has increasing in Jamaica, and doing my analysis, it's not really increasing, it's just trying to match back the US dollar, because our dollar is sliding. That's for another day, but let's not get into that, right? But I looked at it, and for me, I want more. I deserve more. I deserve to have what I've dreamt of, what I've wanted, to achieve it, because I know I can, and I've never put limits on myself. If I say I want it, I'm getting it. So that's my truth. That's why I left my dream job. It was not because I was foreign minded, because that, like I said, it's cold here, I'm starting all over again, but I don't mind. The end justifies the means. I don't mind that. But I am going to leave on the note with saying, in life, not what you want or good don't come easy. Anything that's worth having will not be easy, but go for it. Do not settle. Remember, the dreams are the dream that you have for yourself. Do not settle. Do not let anybody tell you that this that you are getting now is the best. It is not. Do not be afraid to dream, and do not be afraid to take risks, because if you believe in God, God will work a way out. It might look bleak, it might look hard, but God will work a way out. So for all my peeps out there sitting in, wondering if you should come to Canada or how you're going to make it, I'm going to tell you the road, it will not be easy. I'm not going to paint it like, hey, it's a sugarcoat. It's going to be easy and smooth. It might be rocky. You might have tried to apply for a student visa and you did not get it at first, but keep applying, adjusting, bettering your situation, and you'll get here one day. When it's your time, it's your time. All the best. Do not give up on yourself. I didn't give up on me, right? So keep going. That's my truth. If I were to sum it up, like why I left, like I said, I was living my dream. But I am a planner. I look ahead and I'm like, I probably won't be able to live this dream forever. You know what I mean? When I was looking, it's like each year I was getting poorer and poorer. No. We millennials, if we want it, we're going to get it. So go for it. You can have it all. That's my truth. That's why I left. And I hope you're not settling. Don't do that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if there's any other question you want to ask or cuss out my ass in the comments, go ahead. Be free to and tell me what some people told me. Like my mom was like, so you really are gonna live here? Good job. Right? So if after giving you so much, right, I believe I was honest. I gave it all to you. Comment and tell me what you think. Would you have stayed? I don't know. Tell me what you think. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. Bye. Look out for the next video because I'll be talking about jobs in Canada and how much money they pay. All about money. Bye.